Hey there. Remember when I told you about my volunteer tomatoes that popped up? Well, it's time to do a check-in. Now, if you recall, these are our bonus tomatoes that kind of popped up out of my compost. So I have no idea what variety of tomato they are, if they're determinate, if they're intermediate. I don't know. These are my fool around and find out tomatoes. So what I want to do now is I want to take a look and see how the roots are looking. Look at that. She is looking real good. So, with that being said, I think it's time to go ahead and pot her up. Now, of course, many of you are veteran tomato growers know that tomatoes need space. It doesn't matter if you're talking about indeterminate or determinate, that root structure is going to need some room to travel. So, with that being said, what I'm doing is just mixing up a batch of soil so I can go ahead and take these girls up to the next step. And sure, I could mix this soil up by using my garden tool, but let's face it, I'm kind of a hands-on kind of guy. Now, for this soil blend, all I'm doing is actually just mixing in a little bit of perlite and just mixing in a little bit of peat. One, I want the peat in for the acidity that it's going to bring, because remember, our tomatoes are kind of like a slightly acidic soil. Plus, it's going to be adding some much needed organic matter as well. And of course, a little bit of topsoil in that blend as well, so that we can get some of that mineral content. And now I've switched over. The pot that we're going to be using is going to be 1 quart. And I'm just going to pre-pack a little bit of my soil down at the bottom before I put my tomato inside. So I'm going to start out by taking my pruners, and I'm going to prune off these initial leaves that started growing on the tomato plant, because these are some of the younger leaves, and we no longer need these because we're going to plant this good girl. So we're going to plant this good girl all the way up to about right here, maybe even a little bit deeper. All right, there we go. I get her down in there. I want her a little bit deeper. There we go. And let's backfill. Just gonna place all that good soil right up in there. And boom, there we go. Now I just have to do this 11 more times. But I think going forward, this is going to be a fairly healthy tomato. Uh, I'm going to start having to look at some real estate to see where I'm going to put them next. And I think this is quite the pleasant surprise for our surprise tomatoes. All right, so I'm going to get the rest of these girls all situated in soil. But hey, make sure you follow along so we can find out what variety these surprise tomatoes actually are. But hey, it's been amazing speaking with you as always. I'll talk to you again real soon.